All right, so first off, things to consider when you're looking at graduate studies. So in terms of when we talk with our domestic students about undergraduate studies, we do give them a list of points to look through and that we suggest that they consider when choosing a school or a program. So such as choosing a school based on field of study, location, perhaps different facilities are in place and whatnot. And the same things can be applied to graduate studies as well. For many students, when you're looking at graduate studies, it's a major commitment of time and money that you're looking at. So these are some things that we point out as things to consider for you. So why are you considering a graduate degree? Think about your career goals. Where do you want to end up in the next 5 or 10 years? And in some cases, when you're looking at a graduate degree, it may be required for an entry-level position. So in certain cases, like professional schools, so medical school, law school, even business school, for example, may require you to go on to the next level. So a graduate degree is an obvious next step for you. But for some students who want a more academic degree, it may not be as obvious. So other than that, perhaps you're looking at a career change. Perhaps you want to do something a little different with from your bachelor's degree. You want to move on to something else. Or maybe instead of going straight into a bachelor's degree right after you, right into a master's or postgraduate degree after your bachelor's, you may wish to wait a few years and work for a bit. And definitely for some students, this is an ideal situation. Definitely I can speak for the psychology department because I took a psychology program in my first bachelor's degree. And one of my friends went straight to graduate school after she finished her bachelor's, and my other friend didn't decide to go through that route. Took some time off to figure out her goals, and then afterwards realized that she wanted to do more in social work. So that's definitely something to consider, that perhaps taking some time off would allow you to focus your career goals. So here, when you're considering your graduate studies, when would be a great time to attend graduate school? So one option is to go straight in after you finish your bachelor's degree. Some of the benefits of that would be because your study skills are still sharp. You're still accustomed to the student lifestyle. So you're really up to speed with studying. It might not be as difficult for you because you're used to that. But also you may have fewer obligations because later in life you may have more financial obligations, or perhaps you wish to start a family or things like that. And that may hinder how much time you can put into your graduate studies. So that's something to consider as well. And also, as I mentioned earlier, if you're looking at a professional school, then graduate studies is a more obvious step for you, and perhaps you don't have to think too much about that. But if you decide to take some time off and wait a few years to work before attending graduate school, one of the benefits of that is, as I mentioned earlier, a better sense of your career goals. So you know which direction you're heading in, and you can really figure out what you're interested in. Definitely for my friend, it really helped her out because now she finished her master's of social work and she's working with youth, and that's what she really, really wanted, versus my other friend who went straight into her master's and PhD program. She's actually doing her doctorate program right now. She, throughout her entire university career, she knew she wanted to work with Alzheimer's patients and study and research that. So for her, going straight into graduate school was an obvious step for her. Also, some graduate schools or graduate programs may require some work experience. So for example, if you decide to pursue a Master's of Business Administration, then in that case you may need 1 to 2 years of work experience before you can apply for that program. And also, perhaps you're more financially able to afford graduate school later in life. So that's another thing to look at. Okay, so all this talk about graduate studies, what is the major difference between these two degrees? So a master's degree is the next level of study after a bachelor's. This can be a professional degree or an academic one. So in terms of an academic master's degree, this usually takes about 1 to 3 years to complete. Next on that list, the next step up is a doctorate degree, and that's the highest possible academic degree you can achieve. It can be also, again, it can be professional or academic, and academic doctoral degrees do take a bit more time in order to complete, and generally that's in the ballpark of 3 to 6 years. Okay, so a little bit about our website. If you've used schoolfinder.com, another resource for you is gradschoolfinder.com. It's a little more specialized and more fine-tuned in your search because you're only looking at graduate schools, and there's other search filters that are available to you that are not available on the School Finder website. So, for example, if you go to gradschoolfinder.com, what you can do is a keyword search for what you're interested in. For the example I have on these webinar slides right now is if you type in teaching, for example. Teaching is another professional school that you can go into. That usually takes about 1 year of additional study. If you type in teaching, for example, you will get a page of search results for all the schools that offer a teaching program. In this case, you can also filter your search depending on the level of study, your degree modifier, program category, and field of study, because there are different types of teaching that you may wish to specialize in, for example. As I mentioned before, all those other filters you can go through, and also by country or province type. This is also interesting and may be important to you because for your bachelor's degree, you may have studied in your home country because you wish to be closer to home. But when it comes to graduate studies, in certain cases, especially when you're looking for a graduate school advisor, you may wish to study outside of your city or outside of Canada or anything like that, simply because depending on the research advisors that study your particular field of interest, you may have to move out of your city or out of province or whatnot. So those filters are there for you to figure that out. All right, and once you've looked through all the programs and you've clicked on a school profile to view the information, what you can do is also request more information if you would like to find out more. And you can definitely do that. The panel for that is on the right-hand side of your screen when you visit a school profile. Just fill in the information and you'll get some more, either an email or package or whatnot. Okay, so now that you've found a school or you're considering some schools or programs to go into, how do you go about choosing your specialization when it comes to research? So in many cases, you don't actually have to wait for graduate school in order to do research. Simply put, right now, if you're currently an undergraduate student, or maybe you're a college student transferring into a university or thinking of doing university studies after your college degree, you can certainly still do research now. A lot of the time, if you're in lecture or in class and you have a professor that really captivates your attention and you're really interested in what they have to say, perhaps they're studying something or researching something that you would like to learn more about. So all you really need to do is do your research in advance and perhaps approach that professor or look at other faculty members within your field of study and to see what sort of research they're conducting. You can go to their faculty homepage. Often there's a profile page on school websites, and you can look up to see what sort of research they're doing right now. And if anything interests you or if you want to learn more, you can certainly approach that professor either through email or set up a meeting and meet them in person and find out more information. And often, if they don't have too many people on a waiting list involved, then they're more than happy to take on an apprentice or research assistant. And you can do that either during the year or over the summer. And definitely that's a great way to network as well and learn more about your field of study. And in any case, if you're still trying to figure out what sort of research you would like to do, or if you want to specialize in a certain area but you want to figure out or just find out more information, you can turn to scholarly journals because often that's a great way to start. Okay, and right now I think we're going to take a break. So what we're going to do is launch a poll question.